Rosie was born in northern Michigan, in a small cabin near Boyne Falls. Her father, Gus Brooke, was a hard-working yet solitary man, given to taking long walks through the North Woods. On the trails surrounding his cabin, there are armchairs placed along the way. Local folk believe that these chairs belong to the old man of the woods. Gus Brooke is this old man, and those are his chairs. He often relaxes in these chairs on particularly long jaunts through the wilderness. On one of those walks many years ago, he happened to stumble upon Fern, his future lover and the mother of Rosie.
I knew Fern wasn't, no normal woman. There was something fierce about her. She was sweet, but there was something really fierce about her.
Fern and Gus began a courtship that consisted of long walks through the forest, dinners cooked over Gus's fire pit, and the occasional game of Scrabble.
I thought he was sweet when I met him. A little odd, but real sweet. A man shouldn't be out in these woods all alone.
Fern was an employee of the Animal Rescue Society and often looked after injured and abandoned animals. After a time, Fern moved into the cabins with Gus and continued her animal rescue work there. Soon after this, Fern became pregnant with Rosie, and a litter of bear cubs whose mother had been poached by a careless hunter was brought to the cabin for her to look after. Fern had always had a way with animals.
They speak to me. I can hear their thoughts, needs. In a way, they can hear mine too.
At the time of Rosie's birth, the bear cubs were helping Fern with household tasks.
Rosie looked a little furry when she was born, but everything I'd ever taken care of was furry. I didn't think it was a big deal.
The bears helped raise Rosie, and as she grew, she became more and more bear-like.
Her ears started to stick out, but my ears stick out, so who knew?
By the age of 2, Rosie was nearly indistinguishable from her bear cub siblings.
Now I wasn't particularly alarmed by this. I'd been taking care of animals my whole life.
Well, we didn't want to enroll Rosie in kindergarten, 'cause, well, we figured other kids would have picked on her too much.
Life continued in a pretty normal fashion for the Brookes as they homeschooled Rosie.
I didn't want her to get lonely, so I let the bear cubs sit in on our school sessions. Rosie just loved it. I mean, since the other bears couldn't speak, she was the smartest one in her class.
It went smoothly for several years. Rosie turned 10, and the Brookes let her roam the woods on her own. Around age 12, Rosie began to get restless. At age 14, Rosie ran away from home.
I had the urge to roam the woods on my own. I wanted to know what life was like in the cities that I read about in books. Any normal bear would have left its mother years before I left mine.
After she left home, Rosie shaved off all of her fur, and for the first time in her life, she began to wear clothing.
People think I'm stupid because I was mostly raised by bears. But I knew enough that a woman ought not go out without something covering her body.
Rosie hitchhiked her way to San Francisco and spent several years living in squats and on the streets of the Bay Area. But city life didn't quite suit her. Last January, Rosie began roaming again, letting her fur grow as she ambled in a southerly direction through California and Nevada.
Something odd started happening as I got farther and farther south, but my fur just started falling out. I couldn't control it.
What Rosie didn't know was that there weren't many forests in the Southwest. The climate affected her physique, making her appear more like a normal human than ever.
To go living your life thinking you're one thing, and then suddenly finding out you're not? I mean, I was just shocked.
Rosie wandered, confused and lonely, as the rest of her fur fell out. Last January, on the outskirts of Santa Fe, she was rescued, not by an animal rescue service, but by the folks of the other sideshow.
The people here have made me feel at home, whether I look like a bear, or a girl, or something in between.